What was that, dude?
A little clap.
No, after that, you were all...
I gotta get out one last breath before the pod starts.
Oh, yeah. I just think...
A deep breath is just centering myself before we... you know?
Yeah. I'm almost there, dude.
Okay, just give me a quick second, okay?
I gotta get to the podcast.
Just let me just real quick. Just let me
get to the podcast from it. Okay, there it is.
Okay, let's meditate together real quick, Dean.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, this goes good with the microdosing. I've been microdosing mushrooms.
Have you been microdosing lately?
Yes.
Dude, how's that been, man?
Love it, dude.
Yeah?
Love it. Took a little batch this morning.
Oof.
Yeah, it makes the Uber ride smooth out.
Oh man, it's a real treat. Uber rides.
Yeah.
When you're microdosing.
I don't mind the terrible music they're playing. I'm just back there like...
You phase it out.
These kids like some weird shit. And then I just stare out the window.
You got your own playlist in your head playing.
Absolutely. I start singing along too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You all of a sudden know the lyrics to the bad songs. And you're like, how does this even happen?
Yeah. I was like, I don't even know what they're playing. Once in a while, you get some good music though in an Uber. And you're like, this guy gets it.
Dude.
$1 tip for him.
Dude, feeling like a king.
Yeah.
Dude, $1, dude.
Get yourself some nuggets.
Dude, go get yourself a big gulp later.
Yep.
Yeah, there was one Uber driver that I've asked maybe one or two Uber drivers ever. I'm like, what are you playing?
Yeah.
And it was this French guy. He was playing like some French new wave techno that was just dope.
I had a woman drive me yesterday. I got in. She didn't even ask if this was okay. You know, they go, this okay? I was just in. So she's listening to NPR.
Oh.
And it was a segment, and you guys can look this up, I'm sure, about a woman who had part of her brain cut out because she had depression. And they put some shockers on there. I guess you wear like a battery pack or whatever. Yeah. Whenever you're a little depressed, you just give yourself a little blast. And I was like, I'll stick to microdosing.
Yeah.
You know, she had part of her brain. And so I'm riding in the car hearing this. I go, this is the gloomiest shit ever.
Yep.
I don't need to hear this.
I got off a flight like super early in the morning, like Sunday morning after a weekend of gigs. I was exhausted. And my Uber driver had, it was NPR on, and they were talking just all the political stuff. And I was like, do you mind if we change it? Yeah. I'm like not in the mood to hear this right now. NPR,
like... It's good, but it's also depressing sometimes.
Of course
it's just so serious.
It's so much just serious news just coming straight at you.
And the way it's recorded, it's like you could tell the person's not in the room with them.
Yeah.
They're like flown in questions.
Oh, yeah. It's like they're...
So it'll come in and the woman will be like, so then you got part of your brain cut out, huh? And then it'll be a pause like, then I went to the doctor and they did the surgery. And you're just going like, this is imaginary.
Yeah, it's like a bad documentary that just got mailed to them.
No, I don't need it.
NPR.
I'm in your
They get right up on those mics on NPR.
Oh, yeah. I'm in your pad, and I just want to know where that pocket pussy is.
Dude, I had to throw it away,
you
man.
You did?
Yeah.
What happened? You got married and that was the thing?
No, it just got kind of gross.
Oh yeah.
I still have one left. I had
in the box.
I had three. No, I had three at once.
Three.
I had a
greedy bastard.
I had a vagina, I had a butthole, and then I had a do-it-yourself. It's called like a Sure Shot or something like that, where it's like an apple core. Like you just like are doing this with it.
I think there's some guys out there that want an ear.
Like, oh yeah, dude! I saw a foot one, Dean.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's so gross.
Yeah,
just like the top, just
rubber foot. I saw that. Somebody on.
I think it's like Josh Wolf or somebody like posted.
Yeah,
he posted like a lot of that weird meme stuff.
Yeah. He posted something today where a guy crashed off a bridge trying to suck his own dick.
Yeah, dude, there were so many people that tagged Red Band in that.
Oh,
because he claimed on an episode of the show that he could suck his own dick, and we're like, like, what?
Yeah.
And he got on stage and just started like leaning down like this. And he wasn't even close.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, no, I can do it. Look.
Yeah. Well, maybe when he was like 14.
Yeah. And then, but I asked his girlfriend, Janice, and she confirmed it. I was like, what?
Oh, man. I like to see that, Pat. Late at night. Oh, you don't want to suck my dick? I'll suck my own dick.
Yeah, see you later, rolling over. Just
suck my own dick.
Yeah.
That's a good bumper sticker. I suck my own dick.
I suck my own dick.
Oh, man. I don't know how we got into that.
I think just the fleshlight stuff, it got into that. Dude, I've been holding on to a story that I've been waiting to tell you on my podcast because I was going to tell you on your podcast and we literally finished recording. I was like, I forgot to say
You've been holding the story like 2 years?
It's been years.
Wow.
So Dean and I used to gig a lot together. I would go on the road. Even when you were even featuring, you'd convince the headliner to have me MC or open. And I was featuring for Dean one weekend in Arizona. And it was a one-nighter that we did in Phoenix at it was
Jeremiah
a one-night.
had to go home. I'm the headliner. He's laying down the travel schedule. Well, you don't do that. He's like, oh, by the way, I got to come back the same night for a commercial audition. I'm like, dude, we're at this great hotel in an old, like, rad building.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Zero sleep. Oh, the absolute worst. Great show, though.
Great show. Yeah. So Dean obviously is doing this because we've been good buddies a long time. He's like, all right, man, I guess. Like, I guess I'll do this. But like in any other circumstance, the headliner would have been like, you're crazy. That's not happening. Oh,
yeah. You try touring with Delray. He'd be like, what? No, see you later.
Yeah. So we have to basically wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no. Well, the show ended at like
2 o'clock.
2. And we ate something and then laid down for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And we didn't even sleep because we knew we'd just be out. And what was the commercial even for?
Well, it was a theatrical audition. It was it was for some guest star or something. I'm like, I haven't got many guest star auditions.
Bullshit
that I didn't get that I ended up not getting.
And I wasn't going to get cut in on the money at all.
Yeah. If I end up booking it.
Yeah. Right.
Like, where's that residual check? The Dean residual check.
Yeah, they leave the nice hotel.
So Dean, obviously, he's not in the best mood in the morning because we're dead tired and we're having to drive back.
It's not even morning. We're still awake in the middle of the night. And it's far. It's a 6-hour drive.
It's a solid 6-hour drive. That's with no traffic.
Yeah, and I just did an hour. We drove there, by the way. First, we drove there during the day. Then
we at that time, did we lose an hour or something too?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So like it was that time of year.
Yeah. And we drove there all day, 6 hours. Then I ran an hour, then met fans and stuff. And then we laid down for a minute and left again. Oh, 0.
So I'm driving back in the car and Dean is kind of going in and out of sleep. And on the way back, I need to let one loose. I need to fart while Dean is in the passenger seat. And I let one go and I was like, that was a little funky, whatever. Hopefully Dean doesn't wake up from the smell or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I go to get gas and Dean is like completely knocked out and I get up out of my seat and I put gas in the car and go inside and pay. And when I sit back down in the car, I realized that I had crapped my pants
oh man,
like 2 hours ago.
Oh, dude.
So I had to make a split decision. I was like, do I go inside the bathroom of the gas station and clean myself up?
Yeah. Or just drive.
Or just drive.
Oh.
And I picked the latter. I
wouldn't have noticed because this car was such a piece of shit, by the way. This was it. You still got that Acura?
No.
So he had this Acura and he was like, oh, this is my baby. This thing's primo, man. I've had it since high school. And you get in and it's just a piece of shit. And so even if he shit his pants in there, you're not going to smell it because the interior is all moldy.
No.
It's got some Tennessee or wherever
leather.
he's
It's
from.
got that Kansas leather, baby.
Nah, man, it was pleather, and it was definitely.
I have pleather jackets like sewed to the cloth seating.
And so you shit your pants.
So I grabbed my pants and I sat in it. And I drove another 3-4 hours with you in the passenger seat, and I asked you whenever you woke up. I go, Dean, how'd you sleep?
Yeah.
And you go, it's horrible. Were you changing lanes every second?
Oh yeah.
He goes, I couldn't sleep. I felt like I was a BB in a boxcar the whole time. you go, what were you doing? The reason I was changing lanes, I was falling asleep at the wheel, and I kept changing lanes to keep my energy level up. So I kept like going in between cars and everything.
I just say, fuck you for that. We could have died.
Yeah.
And you would have had pants shit. They would have been like, I don't know what happened here. Maybe they were having sex and he just left them dirty. He wrote them dirty. Oh, man. We'd be on Josh Wolf's Instagram.
Yeah, the weird memes.
Riding dirty.
Yeah. This is what happens when you go nuts to butts, actually.
What happened to that car? I remember somebody hit it.
Yeah.
I remember somebody
and I didn't have enough money to I needed other things fixed on it, so I ended up getting new tires on it, and I just instead of fixing the door.
I remember. What do you drive now?
It's a Honda CRZ. It's like
yeah. It's so cars.
Yeah, dude.
So many years ago. My favorite was when you just wore that red blazer. And Ian and I were like,
oh man,
we went out and did that college show.
Yep, at Irvine.
Yeah,
was it like UC Irvine? Maybe. Yeah, something like that.
It was actually pretty good. You were hosting, I think. Were you?
It
hosting?
was actually a great show.
Yeah, or were you just opening?
I was one of the openers. I think like Grant Cotter or somebody was set it up for us.
And Jeremiah had this dumb red blazer. And it looked like one you wear at the movies as an usher in the 80s.
Oh, right this way, madame.
Ticket, please.
Ticket.
Like that one guy Rad on Fast Times. Ticket, please, And it was way oversized. And Ian and I were like, we've come to the conclusion it's time for a funeral for the blazer. And we were like going to burn it. And he's like, no, man, you can't pay this. I do every show in this.
Yeah.
And look how your career took off after you got rid of the blazer.
It's true, man. It was one of those weird things where I thought that was going to be one of the things that separated me.
Your thing.
I thought, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was going to be the thing that it's going to set me apart from my competition. Like that whole thing. Like it's going to give me a look, a signature thing.
Yeah. Are your neighbors bowling right now?
Yeah, I think so.
What the fuck was that?
He's got a dog up there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be so out of here.
Well, I've got a dog named Saxophone, so I never say anything. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa, man. I'll tell you, it's a apartment. I'm working on a bit right now where it's crazy to hear that because I'm so like, I've been screwed in 2 apartments of noise.
Yeah, you've had some bad luck with some apartments.
So brutal. So I'm trying to do a bit right now of like, I feel like they should, if you go to an electronics store and you're going to buy a surround sound system, they need to ID you. So they ID and they go, this is a studio apartment, dude. Headphones.
That's hilarious.
No surround sound allowed in apartments.
Yeah.
You can't have surround sound lifestyle in an apartment.
Yeah, watching like a Christopher Nolan film, just like the walls and windows.
That was it. Neighbors just watching Batman.
Oh, wow.
Neighbor, fuck you.
Is this the Scarecrow that's calling in from...
It is the Scarecrow.
From Batman Begins?
Yes, you pay too much rent for this kind of noise.
Sorry, Scarecrow. I'll try to keep it down.
Keep it down. I think that's the voice in my head when
when you hear a neighbor.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I finally, after 3 years got a place that's just primo, and I'm going to end up completely broke from it. But I'm like,
but it's going to be an investment though. You said that there's like an area for a podcast studio.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like the reality is, here's the problem. I'm 53 years old, and it's like you turned into that guy that says there's no good music anymore. I'm more like, I remember when the rent was $750.
Yeah.
And you have to realize, and this is how I look at it, is like, I scored for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of fucked now, because in my mind, I'm like, man, this place here Jeremiah lives in would be $750
right
back in the day.
Sure.
And now I just like, so you're just screwed when you think that. And
yeah, you get in a particular mindset, and then you're like, oh, I'm not growing like with the current, like where the marketplace is at all. Like, dude, like my wife was looking at, because she wants a bigger place eventually, and I'm like, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But she was looking at different places, and the market has gone up so much that like everything, like for a 2-bedroom, like in LA, it's over $2,000 easily.
Yeah. But here's how you get rid of that mindset, and this is what I did: just go live in New York. And then you come back, you're like, oh man, this is cheap.
This is cheap.
Oh
man.
yeah. I'm like, I'll take this, but don't come from fucking dumb Kansas like you. Cause then you're like, your mom, you're going to have to hear your mom all the time. Jeremiah, you could have a mortgage for what you're paying out there. And it's like, wouldn't be able to pay that mortgage because I'd be working at the Walmart.
Yeah. But also the trade-off, like you always say, is like, but you also have to live there.
Yeah, exactly. When people complain, I'm like, Bakersfield's $1. No one's running out there.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I did like one comedy show in Bakersfield, and I was like, oh, like right after, I was like, yeah, I'm going right back, like immediately.
We got you a room. Nah, I'm good.
No, you keep the room. Could I take the money and stuff?
I don't need to be stabbed.
Yeah.
in the hotel.
Yeah.
Fucking, oh man. Yeah. When I started comedy, they don't really have them anymore. But like 7 years ago or whatever, you would just go up and down the 5 and the 99 and do these one-nighters all over Modesto, Bakersfield, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, all the way to Sacramento and back. Yeah. And you would do that shit every night. I would just drive back on a motorcycle.
Oh, dude, you were the king of finding those.
Oh man, people would just hit me.
Yeah.
Hey, we got
because you became known as that guy.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, I'll hop on my bike. I'll be right there.
And I would burn out there. I remember one time I was doing one. It was in Bakersfield, and I was going over the 5. It was like 65 degrees. I did a spot at the Improv at like 8, and I was headlining Bakersfield at 11. So I go, I got this. So it was like 65, but then as I got up to the top of the Grapevine, it was snowing.
Oh, no.
Actually snowing. It was freezing. It was dead winter, but you don't think about winter when you live in here. You're like, I'm just going to Bakersfield.
Yeah.
I was freezing. My thumbs were frozen from hanging off the sides.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to die for this $36. I'm going up, but I'm getting to run an hour.
Yeah.
And so I get to the bottom of the hill, and I pull up. It's a sports bar.
Oh, man.
Raider games going on. So you got Raider trash. And there's like 7 people, and the Raider game just ends. He goes, we're going to start the show now. I'm like, oh man, can I go first? And he goes, yeah, I did like 30 minutes. He paid me. I was back on the bike, back up into the snow, frozen thumbs again. Oh, brutal.
Dude, some of those early gigs that we did were so rough, man.
Oh man.
Do you remember that one that we did? Was it in Huntington Beach, or it was somewhere in like a beach town kind of area?
Yeah.
And there was maybe 3 people in there, but we had to fill the time to get paid.
Which one was that?
Remember that one?
No.
Dude, it was like so like you're getting paid like to headline like $150, and I think I was like getting paid like $50 a feature or something like that.
Yeah.
So we drove down there together, and we literally, there was 3 people in there, and the bar obviously is not happy because the promoter who said that they were going to get people there didn't. Yeah. They had already agreed on the set price, and he's looking at us like, do you guys want to do the show? And we're like looking at each other like, we need money. Yeah, we're doing the show.
Yeah, we do.
So we ended up doing like, Dean called me up during his set, and we started doing karaoke with some of the other people in the bar just to fill the time, dude. Oh, it was so brutal.
I do remember when Biddlecombe and I did, though, theater in Anaheim. Theater. We show up, a theater, 7 people.
Oh, no.
And in the back, they had costumes because they put on plays.
Yeah.
So Biddle and I just put on giant costumes.
Is that where that hat picture of him comes from?
Yeah,
that's so funny, dude.
Man, backstage. And dude, and we did I did the hour for 7 people. Josh Nasser was the guy booking that thing.
It was Tustin. I have done that gig.
That's it.
Oh my
Remember
goodness.
that?
Oh, I did that gig, and that was one of the last times that I wore a graphic tee on stage at a show because somebody was drunk, and I was wearing those blazer era of Jeremiah blazer and a
BA blazer.
Before and after blazer.
Oh, you still got that fucking thing?
Yeah, dude.
Where is it? Go get it real quick. Just put that thing on for the rest of the podcast.
It's so hot.
Come on, just do it, dude, for comedy. Old Jeremiah.
All right, man.
Go get that thing.
All right, I'll go get it. But
holy shit,
Dean, you got to host while I go get it. So
I can't even. I'll do some singing while you're there.
Yeah, do some singing. Play with some effects while you're over there.
This is the Bee Gees effect, which is Bee Gees are one of my favorite. If you never got into Saturday Night Fever, you're out of your mind. But here we go. You can tell by the way I move my feet, I'm a woman's man, no time to dream. We don't know, got the damn in my now, roll, I'm alright, I'm okay. It don't matter anyway. It's okay. You're not fun. You're not fun. When I hear another word, then you're still alive. Still alive. Everybody's thinking you're still alive. Still alive. Still alive. Oh man, that fucking thing sucks. Look at the, what the fuck? It's even bigger than I remember.
I've lost weight since then.
Oh, so Ellen, 80s Ellen.
It's truly, especially now, like with my new haircut, it's even more Ellen, dude.
Oh my God, dude. It's giant.
It's giant, dude.
Where the fuck did you buy that thing?
You would never believe it. A Salvation Army in Kansas.
Of course I would believe that. What are you talking about? That's exactly where you got it.
I know, that's exactly
And the guys in the back are like, look at this dick.
Look at this guy getting this.
And it wasn't even Halloween. You just went in like in June.
I was that weird hipster kid in Kansas that loved those old jackets and stuff.
I love old jackets too, but ones that fit and are cool.
You know what? I have such long arms. I was just stoked that it reached my wrist, and I was like, "This is a fit."
Oh my God! Every fucking show.
Every show. This was in a backpack. It was rolled up.
Oh yeah. And a matter of fact, one time they said, "Hey, you're on next," because someone was late, and he's like, "Oh, my blazer," and we're like, "Dude, just go on." He's like, "No, I gotta get the blazer."
I like ran upstairs, like put it on real quick.
Dude. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't wait till Ian. I know Ian won't watch this, but if he did, he'd be like, that goddamn blazer.
Oh, dude, you, Ian, and Barry Sobel were the 3 people that were like, if you don't retire this, it's going to deeply affect your career.
Absolutely. And I was just being serious.
No. You guys were actually being good friends. You're looking out for me because they're like, hey man, like, here's the thing. Your comedy is great. You're working hard. You're doing all the right things. But we got to talk to you about your look.
Yeah.
that blazer, you got to get rid of it. You got to put it to rest.
See, and also, it was the same thing that Ian did to me. Like 2 years in, I thought I was killing. I was getting massive laughs and stuff, but he just pulled me aside and said, "Hey, man, that material's bullshit." And he was right. And I took a year to for just bombing, and it was hard not to go back to the
Dude,
bits.
that's stuff that you know that works.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I remember I had a Winnie the Pooh bit.
Yeah, that bit killed. I remember.
Yeah, it killed, and Tony Baker had a Winnie the Pooh bit also. So it was crazy because he and I were good friends and started together. So at the time, you're like, "Oh, Tony's here. He's going to do his Winnie the Pooh. Who's on?" You know, like you only have like 4 bits.
Of course,
you can't lose one of your bits.
Your go-to crusher bits.
I can't lose a bit. You know,
man, that's
And then I had that Bobby King of the Hill bit. It's just a bunch of dumb shit, you know?
Yeah.
Last night I'm doing bits about funeral / flea markets I want to put on.
Yeah.
It's a whole different game now.
Whole different. You'll be able to talk about whatever you want now.
Yeah.
Because you're more seasoned.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to wear this.
You have to. Yeah, just for the torture. It's just comedy.
It's so hot. Like this is literally giving me flashbacks of me committing so hard and doing so many act outs that were not working on stage. Of me just like
polyester.
Yeah, dude, this is brutal.
I remember one of your act outs in this jacket. You would. What was that? Oh, you did like a Guns N' Roses one, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I did the GNR too.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that how old Guns N' Roses is, but they're so big that the premise would still work right now.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things where I haven't done it because it's one of those things where it's like you try to do more and more updated stuff as the years go on or whatever. But it was Guns N' Roses doing an ad for Little Caesars.
Oh yeah. And mine was the nuts to butts. It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Just the Axl Rose, the gift that kept giving.
I know. You're a big GNR guy.
Yeah. Yep. I do love GNR, but it's funny. It's I don't know. I don't listen to it as much now because I think after like whatever 88 that came out, it's been listening to it so long that I'm like, I think I'm good.
Yeah, you're like, I think I got it now.
I think I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just listening to a record like every other day for 25 years?
No, that'd be. What do you listen to right now? Like, what are some bands that you've gotten into recently?
Oh, I just listen to so much new stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just, I love this guy, Marcus King. It's funny because I put it all in my phone because it's so much great new music that people, they ask me all the time, and I love this, The Pilgrim, this band, The Pilgrim, if you're into kind of cool desert rock. Then Creamer, if you're into kind of Beatles kind of Jellyfish band. And this guy, Chris Forsyth. It's every day I get new music recommendations, or I find it, and I'm blown away.
Well, you've kind of established yourself as like that rock and roll comedian. So I feel like a lot of people want to connect with you on that level and be like, hey, like if you appreciate this, like I've heard you talk about how much you like this band. Yeah, I got a suggestion that's going to blow you away.
Yeah, it's. I tell you what, there was a band yesterday. Everybody was hitting me on it, and I'm not going to say who it is because I always say promote what's great, not what you hate.
Right,
but people, and it's really interesting that people they look, hey, you're taking the blazer off.
Yeah, man.
What are you doing, dude?
I got to take it off. You know what? Like,
come on, dude.
No, I literally can't do it the rest of the. It's so hot. It's so hot underneath these lights.
You don't have AC, or is it because of the sound?
So it's the sound. It's just like it's all.
Well, we got the dog walking upstairs.
Oh, that actually doesn't show up on the mics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what's funny about this jacket now is I do a character on Kill Tony that originated from my act, and it's this 80s comedian character.
Yeah.
And it's very like one-liner.
Is it based on a Jim Carrey?
No, it's based on kind of like corny, like kind of one-liner 80s like comedians like
like, hey, the milkman came by, and then like some kind of one-liner that's goofy.
Yeah, like whoa, you know, that kind of thing. So there's this character named Zippy that I've this comedian wears. I've got like a big blonde afro, and I wear that jacket. And a little Easter egg for the people out there who know that character, that is the red. It's from the red jacket that I used to literally wear on stage that Dean just made me put on this podcast. Every set.
He's spoofing himself.
Yeah.
He does a character of himself from 6 years ago. He's calling it an 80s comic, but it's really 6 years ago.
It's really just Jeremiah 6 years ago. Like what I thought was like the right path for me.
At Irvine.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my God. Anyway, so somebody sent me over a bunch of people sent me over this band all at once. And I had heard of the band like months ago.
Yeah.
And people think that if you like Guns N' Roses, that you just like the entire 80s genre, you know, like, oh yeah, well, you like this and that, you know, and it's like, nah, man, you can't put Guns N' Roses up against all the other bands. That's why they're still around.
Yeah.
Because they had great songs and they were dangerous and shit. It's not that people confuse it with just the sound and the flavor, you know, all right, come on, yeah, with the fucking hair, you know. I didn't like any of that. I was Jane's Addiction, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, bands with like great songs and stuff. So they sent me over this band yesterday, everybody, and I was actually like, God, oh, you don't get it. I was one of those guys, you don't get it. Well, I figured you'd like this. It's like 80s. And it's like, no.
I have an idea of who the band might be, but yeah, interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk off mic.
Off mic about
We'll talk off mic.
You know what's crazy, dude? Sometimes it happens on the show. When we mention certain celebrities' names, they hear about it somehow, and they end up calling into the show. And on my caller ID right here, it says AR. I think Axl Rose. Oh, actually calling into the show.
Finally, I've been trying to get him on my podcast
right now.
That's good.
Hello. Axl? Is Axl calling into the show right now?
You know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die.
You actually just called into Jeremiah Wonders, Axl. We're not in the jungle.
Oh. All right. Well, where are you? Where the hell are you there?
We're in Los Angeles, actually. You know?
Oh, yeah, LA.
So when can we get you scheduled on Dean Delray's podcast? Because Let There Be Talk has a big music base that they would love to hear from you on there.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I got a great Axl.
Where do we go?
Oh, you got your own.
Where do we go now?
Where do we go? That's such a fucking...
Oh, where do we go?
I thought it was two singers when the record came out.
I thought so too.
Because I knew the band. I saw the band live and stuff.
That low and the high.
Yeah,
I was like,
turn around, bitch. I got a huge for you.
Hey,
Besides.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a story. I don't know if I've ever told this story. I tried to do it on stage a couple times, but I would have to cut it down. But my buddy was playing keyboards in the Corey Feldman band in the 90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet he's got some stories.
This is Mach 1 Corey's band, not the Angels he did like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Chris Porter told me, by the way, he went down and saw it in Santa Barbara.
Chris Porter went and saw them live?
He said it's the gift that keeps giving.
Oh my. That's hilarious, dude.
Right? Oh.
Dude, he came and judged a night of roast battle.
Yeah.
And
Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was, dude. It was, and there was a roaster, David Lucas, who was on stage. Corey Feldman was getting confident in the room.
Uh-oh.
And
getting a little cocky.
He's getting cocky. He started throwing out roast jokes at the comedians on stage.
Oh, shit.
And David Lucas looks over at him, and he's like trying to be incognito, and Corey Feldman's wearing this little fedora.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut up, you looking like the ghost of Michael Jackson over here. And the room just like imploded on itself.
Oh, man. Oh, God, I wish I was there that night because I'd run my story by him and watch him fume. So my buddy had played keyboards in Guns N' Roses. He played on the Illusion records. This guy named Howard Tiemann. He's a tattooer over in the Valley, like a famous artist. He's the guy that did the incredible art of all the comics in The Office.
Oh, okay.
You know that poster? It's dot work. And it's in The Office. It's all the comedians, John Belushi, all those people, it's like a party. So he was playing keyboards in Corey Feldman for money. And I was talking to him and I go, what do you got tonight? He goes, oh man, we're playing Roxbury. I go, oh, who are you playing with? And he's like, Corey Feldman. I'm like, oh, I think like from GNR to Corey Feldman, man, that's rough.
That's a little rough.
He goes, you guys want to come down? I'm like, no. And he's like, all right, whatever. And then I hung up and my buddy goes, dude, we crazy? We got to go to that. It's going to be hilarious. I go, all right, I'll call him back. Meanwhile, I had asked him what songs they were playing. He said they played covers, like they did Beatles, Jackson 5, Doors, Break On Through.
Yeah.
So I call Roxbury. This is pre kind of cell phone everybody, 90s. Actually, I don't think anybody had cell phone. I called him. Oh, I called him from a house. I remember now because I was bummed we didn't tape it. And this woman answers, and I can hear in the background they're sound checking. And I just, for some reason, I go, Corey Feldman, please. And she goes, who's calling? And I go, Axl Rose. And she's like, what? And this is Axl, is like giant,
Yeah.
And she's like, huh? And I go, yeah, it's Axl. And she goes, hold on. So like 5 minutes goes by. And it's, hello? Hey, Corey? He's like, yeah, who's this? And I go, it's Axl Rose. He's like, oh, come on, man. Who? I go, it's Axl. It's Axl. When's the last time I saw you? And I was like, I don't remember that, but I heard you got a band and I want to come down. He's like, is this really Axl? And I go, yeah, I want to come down, man. Maybe I'll sit in. He's like, what? And now he's not really sure, but he doesn't want to burn the bridge.
Of course.
So just to hit him a little bit, he goes, we got red carpet. It's going to be wild. Is this Axl? And I just hit him with this. I know they're doing the Doors. So I go, break on through to the other side. Yeah. And then he's silent for a minute. And he's like, oh my God. Oh God, this is going to be great. You want to come to sound check? Oh, you got to come to, I can hear him muffling. Oh yeah, okay. And I'm like, all right. Now I'm just talking, singing to him. I'll be there around midnight. I get up, rest. So he's freaking out. Like, all right, I'll see you down there. Yeah. And I hang up. Me and my buddy, and you can ask him, Bill Fold, we are fucking dying. And so the guy Casey.
Are you trying to muffle your laughter between doing all this stuff?
Oh my God.
You're just got to be dying.
The guys have got the faces in the pillow. They don't even know what's going on. But the other guy ran back on home phones, got on the other line so he can hear it.
Yeah.
We're bummed we didn't tape it because we would have sent it right away to Howard Stern.
Of course.
Would have killed.
Yeah.
But so we go to the gig. My buddy puts me on the wrist. We get on and we go. There's three of us, and we go. And it's just all kind of middle-aged women, in there. And it's kind of light. It's Roxbury, and we're waiting. And they finally come on, and the band comes on, and he's got his glove. He comes out. He's wearing like a Michael Jackson glove. He's wearing like a Sgt. Pepper's like general's jacket, kind of like Jeff Ross wears as the rest. And he comes out and he's doing his moves and everything, and they play a song, and at the end of the song, it's kind of quiet. Like, no, it's because it's wacky. People are like, this is wacky. And I'm in the middle about 5 feet, and I just kind of turn. I'm like, break on through to the other side. And he knows he's been had. Yeah. So he's just in the mic. He goes, fuck you. And we were on the ground. He's like, dude. Fuck you. So after the show, I told my buddy it was us that called. He goes, you fucking asshole. He made a sound check, break on through for 2 hours. He was freaking out. It was too fast, too slow. Is this right?
Wow.
And it was an epic Corey Feldman.
That's an epic prank. That's an epic Corey Feldman story, dude.
Early, like early on, like pre-Jerky Boys, we used to prank call people, just call them in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like, hey, calling about the fishing rod for sale.
Whoa, what?
You know what time it is? Yeah. You fish at night, man. The fish don't sleep.
What are you talking about? fishing at night? I don't know. What's your... Hello?
Calling about the 82 Corvette for sale. Is that still available?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're calling at 3 o'clock in the morning, but yeah.
Yeah. I like to drive fast at night. Is that original paint? What's the chrome look like? Is it painted or anything? Could you go out and look at it right now? I'm a serious buyer, sir. I know it's
all
late.
right. Deborah, I'm gonna get out. So he's calling about the Corvette. Let me...
It's kind of early. Who's got time to call tomorrow?
All right.
I'm a serious buyer. Serious buyer.
He says he's a serious buyer.
Serious buyer. I got 3,800 cash.
Oh, okay. Let me go.
I got a little powder too. You want to trade some powder? Trade some powder for the.
Don't tell my wife.
Maybe you and I go out in that Corvette and get a little bush. You know what I mean?
Oh, we'll see how the test drive goes.
Well, break on through.
Wait, is this actual Rose?
Yeah.
We used to do that though, man. Call people.
Oh, of course, man.
Oh, it's so weird.
Prank calling was so big, dude.
Well, Jerky Boys made like $20 million from it or something. You ever read that Jerky Boys battle?
No.
Those guys fought and everything.
Really?
I read some big story on them in like Rolling Stone or something. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, of course. I was telling somebody a couple of days ago, they go, I love the Jerky Boys. Who was it? And they're like, oh, Dom Irera. He goes, I love that. And next thing you know, Dom Irera and I are doing Jerky Boys. You know,
Oh, man.
My favorites, he never heard it, Pet Cobra. You know that one? So they're like, 911, what's your emergency? I got a pet cobra. It bite my eye. Oh, I go dee instead of do and it got mad. You know, the guy's like one of those snake charmers.
Yeah, snake charmer things.
He's like, my eye. Oh my God, that shit was gold.
Dude.
Gold.
Classic.
Yeah. And then the Reds, you know, Mike Hunt. Is Mike Hunt here?
Yeah.
And then the Simpsons did it.
I know.
I wonder if they had to pay that guy.
I don't know. That definitely came out right around the same era. So it's like, it's interesting, like who kind of has ownership of that joke.
The dude was the guy that did it because those tapes were passed around. They were called Reds Bar or whatever tapes. And those are, it's weird how you just pass a cassette tape on it. Check these jokes out.
Yeah.
And you get it to be like compilation. Like I had prank called my own on there, and then some Jerky Boys, and then some Reds, and then fucking what's his name, man? Neil Hamburger. Those were great.
I used to record audio cassettes on the radio stations. I would get all those bad commercials leading into the song, like just praying that I was recording like the hit song that I didn't know what it was. Yeah. Trying to call the station. There was no like Spotify, or there was no like
the worst. No
Shazam. Yeah. The Shazam was the radio DJ that hated you for calling in. What is that one sound song?
Oh, and they fucked you too. Sometimes they'd be like, oh, all right, that was we got an ad here on sports.
I know.
And you go, wait, what was that
song?
Who was that?
I need to know.
Whoever invented Shazam does not get enough glory.
Yeah, not at all.
Are you kidding me? Just sitting at Chipotle like, what is that?
What is that noise?
What is that I'm hating?
Yeah.
I want to know what I'm hating right now. What is
So you
this?
know what to
Kanye
avoid it.
West? Get out of here.
Let's get into this next segment, fanning out.
Fanning out. Questions from fans.
Fanning out.
Yeah.
What is that?
So I reached out to people on social media and said, if you could ask Dean any question or give any character suggestions for us to do, what would it be?
Yeah.
And there's some great ones. This one comes from @OpenVisions on Twitter. What's it take to get rid of the I'm too old to do this mentality? And do you even think about that shit that way?
Well, when I started comedy, everybody was like, I mean, I was getting hazed. Like, look at this old guy, like Fierce at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Fierce, just like, there's a guy. I remember Tony Hitchcock was like, there's a guy having a midlife crisis. You know what I mean? Like, because it's really easy to shit on beginners. It's like shooting fish in the barrel.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, so if the room's dead, you just do that and it gets the room going, hopefully. But that was back when there was 9 people in the store.
I know.
So it's more like you're just roasting for the other comics, you know? But
I think that's probably how you and I became friends so quickly early on in the mic scene. Is I just saw you as a funny dude who was a hard worker, and I'm like, that I feel like we were on the same wavelength of like, we got to get to that next step.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I tell the story a lot, but I had no idea that I was old because the comics I loved were in their 40s.
Of course.
You know, Burr.
Dangerfield, all those guys.
Well, also even the ones
the current ones,
that I was seeing working and stuff. Marin and Chris Rock was I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 48 or something.
Yeah. He's like maybe in his 50s even.
And Chappelle and those guys, you know, I was a huge Chappelle guy, that show, you know, the Dave Chappelle show and stuff. So I just figured, that there is no age at comedy.
Yeah.
And there really isn't now, unless you're looking at Comedy Central or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the ageism I got right now is unbelievable. Still don't have an agent, you know, at 53 years old. But I thank God that in this era now, you just go do it yourself.
Yep.
Like what we're doing here, podcasting. I'm on the 7 years of podcast now. And
congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. 487 episodes.
Wow.
Coming up on 500. And you just don't complain and you just do it.
Yep.
And eventually, if you're going to complain and stuff, just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, we're all fucked out here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fucked because I'm 53. So I got to work 10 times as hard. But I don't look at it as work. I just love it so much. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like people come and go, like, but like we're staying in it, and it's like we're in it for the long haul. And then like a lot of times people who maybe, you know, kind of disregarded you early on, like they end up coming around.
Oh, they do. Well, I mean, also I think hard work, people see it and they're like, hey, this guy's working his ass off. That's what Marin and Burr, definitely, Joey Diaz, those guys see me as like, oh, this guy's busting his ass. D'Elia, you know, D'Elia was the first guy to bring me out headlining and stuff. So not headline, but featuring. So that kind of stuff, you know, there's nothing to complain about. We're working in the number one club. I'm working at the Comedy Store and the Comedy Cellar. I got no complaints.
This next question feeds in really well to that, actually. At Percussion Punisher 1 on Instagram, how has moving to New York and doing clubs out there helped your stand-up being from the West Coast?
Well, I live in both, so I bounce back and forth, but I think it's very vital for 2 things. One, for the comedy community, you don't want to be known as an LA comic or a New York comic. In my eyes, I just wanted to be known as a comic.
Sure.
And I also met a lot of great friends in New York. So now wherever I go, airports, other clubs, whatever, you run into these people and you're like, oh man, Big J, what up? You know, you run into guys and you're like, this is crazy. And what I did learn in New York was, it's a different type of comedy there. It's kind of a lot geared around TV sets. People are working up TV sets and stuff like that. So it's tighter, quicker, boom, boom, boom. And I learned right away not to try to do what you don't do. When I first got there, I was like, I'll chop these jokes up and just...
To get to their rhythm, kind of.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I watched Ari Shaffir, and I go, well, he's not doing that. He's not changing. I wasn't changing. I was just trying to keep up a tempo.
Yeah, trying to acclimate a little bit more.
Yeah, and I was like, and then once I learned, no, man, and it goes back to what Burr told me years and years ago, just be you wherever you're at. Yeah. That's it. And boom, that's such a vital piece.
Yeah, anytime I go out to the East Coast, especially New York, like it's usually a showcase kind of lineup, how the store is like a bunch of comics like on a 90-minute show. And I always have to reset the room entirely to like what I do, because it just,
And I think it's a breath of fresh air too. Sometimes where people are like, "Well, this guy's weird."
Oh yeah, it's super different. Yeah,
where's this guy? And I like that challenge. And I just and between the stand and the cellar, the people I've met are it's unbelievable.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
Dude, I mean, you're passed at the Comedy Store and the Comedy Cellar, the two hardest clubs in the country to get past at.
Another thing in New York did to me, though, was made me fall back in love with LA because I'd been here so long that you kind of get numb. Mm-hmm. So when you're in New York for a long time, I've been there like 3 years back and forth, but this year I was there for a whole year. You realize, oh, I'm a California guy, man. Yeah. I really am. I'm born and raised here, born in Yosemite. I'm a California guy.
Yeah.
I love New York, but I don't have any love for the other outside pockets. I'm not a DC guy.
Right.
All right, Philly. I just don't. I'm not knocking them. I just don't know any. There's
different regions. It's not like
To me, it's Manhattan, Brooklyn, that area there, and then California.
Yeah. Yeah. This one comes from. This is somebody who I think knows you well, who follows your podcast, I'm guessing, because it sounds like an insider question. At Derek_the_destroyer on Instagram. Top 3 bands you ever booked at The Edge or One Step?
Actually, my partner booked those rooms. We had 3 rooms, and I booked the Stone. So, but we did share, like, hey, should we get this band? Yeah, let's get that band. There's me and this guy, Jimmy Arsenault. And we booked 4 rooms, actually, one in Fresno, the Cadillac Club. But, Radiohead. We had Radiohead on the bins early on, or the first record. Who else? Kiss. I booked Kiss, when they did a special club gig. Who else? We had everybody. Slayer, Metallica awesome. Played. I didn't book Metallica, but Metallica, everybody played in this club, the Stone. Even Jerry Garcia, everybody.
How long were you helping book those venues?
Like 5 years, I believe. And then one day I remember I was on vacation. 5 years, but I was really there like 10 years, where the owner would be like, what do you think of this? And then finally he's like, you need to just come here and work, because he would call me, hey, I never heard of this band.
You were like the finger on the pulse kind of guy.
Yeah, I always knew new music, and they would call me up like, guys. I mean, I'll tell you the best booking I ever did, and I talked to Jerry Cantrell about it. I booked Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam when Pearl Jam was called Mookie Blaylock, and Alice in Chains had just released their record, and I booked them, and there was about 50 people, and it was my friends. And last year, I toured and opened for Alice in Chains as a comedian, and it was the biggest fucking full circle I've ever had in my life of like, dude, when I was like 20-something years old or whatever I was, I booked you guys. And he goes, I remember that. And then we broke in and talked about it, and Pearl Jam was Mookie Blaylock, and that shit that's
pretty awesome.
That's probably the hierarchy of like knowing the pulse of like, this fucking band is great.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and Pearl Jam was fire because I was a huge Mother Love Bone fan.
Yeah. This one comes from at GabeRoger1 on Twitter. How deep did you get into drugs and booze before you got clean?
Oh, full on. Just daily. Daily.
Were you truly living that like rock star kind of life? Yeah.
Daily drinking, blow, anything goes. Anything goes, and every day.
Yeah.
It's I think I was 27 when I quit.
What was the breaking point for you? Because 27 is kind of an interesting turning point.
That's the one everybody dies at.
Yeah.
My voice was going, and they said if you don't rest your voice, don't drink and everything, you're getting vocal nodes, and if you rest now, they'll go away, or else we're gonna have to laser them off, and you won't be able to sing for like 6 months. I was like, whoa. And I relearned to talk. I was talking really lazy, and they sent me this voice guy. I was talking like this. yeah, man, just all
Just
throat.
not projecting all
Yeah,
throat.
not at all. Just all
Yeah.
throat talking. Like, yeah. And they go, dude, you're trashing your voice. It's
Were you doing that to like putting out like a cool vibe?
No,
or?
it was just more lazy, actually. It
Really?
was like if you're singing every night,
Oh, then you were just like, oh,
you're not
whatever.
resting.
I don't really
Yeah,
know.
you're just like, and it was just gravelly. And, rock music has completely taken, my right ear, my body, everything out, you
Yeah.
know? My right ear don't work at all anymore.
I love in your act when you're like, this one's just for looks or
Yeah.
whatever. At Oliver Seven Garden on Instagram, I'd love to see you guys do each other as characters. I think Red Band does the best Dean Delray. Ask him what guest he would want on his podcast but can't get. Do you have a Jeremiah impression?
Well, throw that blazer on. Give me that blazer. My Jeremiah impression is you just doing an impression of me. Whenever I come down the road, you go, oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. Every time I greet Dean, I'm like, oh, yeah.
So that's my impression. Oh. Hey, everybody, it's Jeremiah from Kansas. You can call me Cracker. Super white. Yeah, Jeremiah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Here's my impression of Kings of Leon.
Oh, no.
Lost in the Woods.
Oh, no.
I've been running around, didn't turn it down, but all I need.
Oh, man.
Praise.
That one cut deep. I got to retire that joke. That's one of those jokes, man, that you're talking about that like,
Keeps giving.
well, it's like I've been doing that joke. It's one of the few jokes I've extended over the years because it does.
Yeah, you said Tony threw you something and it got bigger.
And it got bigger. And it's one of those things where I keep doing it because it's every show. Somebody's like, that was one of my favorite bits you did. I'm like, man, okay.
Well, here's the problem. And we're in an era of people doing new hours every year and all that. And the problem is these jokes work and they're great. We also have to keep pushing ourselves and keep writing. But
Oh, totally.
each week, new people discover us.
I know.
And the thing is I look through my book and I'm like, wow, look at this joke from like 5 years ago. And I don't do it, but once in a while I'll whip it out. And I remember Marin told me something. He's like, stop worrying about what comics think of you and just go your own path. Because if you're back there and they go, this guy's been doing this joke for 2 years. It's like, yeah, man. But what about this other?
Yeah, what about
30
the other
minutes of
30?
new?
There's like new stuff.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
So you can't worry about what other people think. It's pretty wild. That being said, though, I don't do the nuts to butts joke ever.
Well, didn't you put it on an album or something?
I recorded 2 records and I shelved them. I haven't put them out.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
The first one,
Because that's kind of a bold move to gear up to do something and then be like, I'm actually not going to put that out.
Yeah, I recorded the first one at the Comedy Works, which is one of my top 5 clubs.
Great club.
Yeah, and Windy is incredible. I recorded it there, and it was just a smash fest.
Yeah.
And as I listened to it, I was like, this crowd was too good. There was no dynamics. It was just a
kill fest.
If you listen to it, you're like, man, this crowd's annoying. They were so hot. If you're listening to it, it's just and it just felt a little bit like, this isn't real. I like in records, comedy records, you want dynamics.
Any of the greats, they have those moments where
you want to go on
really
journeys and everything. And so I shelved that one, which the label that did it was not happy. But I said, look, I'll pay for the next record and out of my own money, and then we'll put that out. And we recorded that at La Jolla a year ago. And I listened to it and it was great and everything. But I was like, that I just don't want to represent myself yet. I love the animosity, or not animosity, the being unknown. What's the word?
Obscurity?
Not obscurity, but I don't. Whatever you're going to put out is
You like the allure of not having a body of work and being more like, what's going on with this Dean guy?
Well, that's cool mystique, but I'm talking about, am I there yet? And when you think about, and what it really hit me was when I was in New York, I was talking to Dave Attell and Skanks for the Memories. Every, he didn't put that out for 15 years. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what's the hurry? A lot of friends had put out records. It's not, okay, you get some stuff on Sirius XM and all that, and that's great, and you make a little income. But I really want to find myself artistically before I go, I did some music records and I listen to them now and I say, there's no cringe moments. I listen to it and I go, I like this record right now. And I really,
the music record.
Yeah, the music record. And I really worked on it.
It's funny that you say that because I don't feel ready to put out an hour special of my stand-up, but I just put out an album of music comedy that I felt was ready to go. Like we had workshopped it everywhere, and the main difference between music comedy, like you don't really keep coming up with tags for songs and stuff. And
also you can just do snippets at shows of a song, and it's working.
Yeah,
where you're doing bits. You know?
So I felt comfortable. Like that's my debut comedy album with Pat Reagan. Like that we put out. It's like I feel comfortable representing myself with that because it's something unique and something different. But my stand-up, I'm going to keep honing and keep tweaking until like I feel like the hour is just like something that's truly special and not just an hour of a set. That's
how I feel. I feel I'm a totally different comic from 5 years ago. And now I'm kind of in this... I'm on the 10th year here. I'm 9 years, 6 months in.
You and I have gone through a lot of different looks over the years. Over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of different haircuts.
Fat Dean.
Yeah.
Bald Dean.
Dude, you and I, man, Dean
Billy
and I
Idol Dean.
On the road. Yeah.
Billy Idol Dean.
That was a good one, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you and I used to crush candy on the road together because I have I have a bottomless pit.
I'd eat it right now. I mean, not really, but it's just like, candy, dude. What the fuck?
We would go get those cherries, man.
That's my favorite.
The little Coke bottles.
And then Brian Moses fucked me one day. I remember we were in the kitchen. He came in, what's up, Dean? And he's got this bag. I go, what are those? He goes, oh, these are the sour watermelons. You never had them? I go, nah. And he goes, oh, dude, this is the best. I had one. It was the crap. 2 times a night, I would walk to Pink Dot, the dealer.
Dude, we would go down there. You would get teas and candy.
Yeah, iced tea and candy. I would just fuck up those watermelon. Shout out to Brian Moses for the incredible. That's one thing I think
the crippling candy addiction.
I think about the Comedy Store, and I think about, I don't hang with a lot of these guys, but I consider them great family friends.
Sure.
Over the years of just memories of all these people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, Moses turning me on to that. And just thinking of all that stuff there.
Oh, there's so many good things. Like, dude, the amount of times you and I have walked to Pink Dot to grab random stuff.
Oh,
dude, it's like, you wanna go down Pink Dot?
Totally broke, but paying $4 for iced tea because that goddamn place is a rob. I hate that place so much. I wish it was a 7-Eleven. So much better.
This podcast brought to you by Pink Dot.
Pink Dot. When you want to get absolutely robbed.
Pink Dot.
Pink
Robbing people, for us.
Pink Dot. Robbing comics since the Comedy Store opened.
Robbing comics blind since 1965.
Pink Dot. Oh, man.
Somebody wanted this is a 2-parter from a couple different people.
Which, by the way, I saw one dick comment. He's like, I thought that guy was a model.
There's always those comments.
Yeah, I'll give you a modeling photo from 2 years ago. The Fat Dean. Oh, man.
Oh, dude.
Oh, do you see it? I got the best one.
Dude, I think Fat Dean is actually calling into the show right now.
Yeah,
dude.
Fat Dean's calling it.
Hello? Fat Dean?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm over at Chipotle. You need anything? I got a quesadilla. I got a burrito with all 3 meats. And then I got...
You got all 3 meats in your Chipotle burrito? That's a little intense.
No, man. I wish they had a 4th meat. I wish they had salmon. Salmon burrito. too.
I don't know, dude. That sounds kind of gross.
And then I got a flan.
You got flan?
You ever eat flan, dude?
No.
Flan is so good.
Flan is, I've never heard somebody say that phrase, flan is good.
You just have to get past the semen kind of texture, but flan is yummy for the tummy.
All right, Fat Dean, whatever you say.
Let me just give you a real quick. You're gonna love this, Fat D. And fuck this Face ID is just dying
yeah.
lately. Fucking
Tyler Allen, 87, says you used to be hooked on candy, so he'd like to know what's you think is the most underrated candy of all time.
Oh, the most underrated. I definitely feel like the gummy burgers are underrated.
I love those things.
And matter of fact, when I was in Europe, they have gummy eggs. So it looks like an over easy egg. It's
What?
white and in the middle of the yolk. And you look like an asshole just eat. Yeah, you're just eating this fucking dumb egg. But the best overrated and hard to find candy is the Chico stick.
The Chico stick?
Oh, you know that thing?
I don't think I've had that.
They sell it at the 101 Cafe.
Yeah?
Oh, it was my dessert every night. It's a long, hard stick.
Yeah.
Don't get any ideas. And it's like weird. It's like a hard stick pressed together. It's like, let me show you a picture. And it's
Yeah.
like, my phone's off. It's coconutty corn flavor. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's called the Chico stick.
I used to for your birthdays because we would always go to that Super Bowl party over at your buddies. I'd always bring Sour Patch Kids for you for your birthday, just feeding into the craving.
I just ripped some Sour Patch Kids, right?
Oh, and you introduced me to that Australian licorice, dude.
Oh, that shit is so good.
That cherry licorice, it's unbelievable.
It's
and
all
strawberry
gooey
too.
and weird in a bag. They sell it at like Whole
Those
Foods.
like bites.
Oh, dude,
they're so good.
that shit. Here's a good Fat Dean. Look.
Whoa! Will you text me that picture?
Yeah, I will.
I'll have my buddy Gage who helps me produce.
Don't
this
forget
thing.
about 7th grade, Dean.
Please text me both of those pictures.
So badass. I parted it on the side.
Yeah, dude.
You can't see that, but I wore a Yamaha jersey at picture day. 'Cause I'm a fucking biker.
At ZV Waller from Twitter wants you to do a character of a candy store owner.
Candy store owner.
So let's paint the picture. I'm gonna be walking in.
Okay.
I got candy.
Candy store. Oh, Barry White.
So I'm a little kid. I'm walking in, and it says Dean's Candy Store on the outside. And I walk in. There's a little bell. Ding ding ding. Hi. I'd like some. I don't know what I want actually. My parents just gave me $5.
It's all gone.
What?
I ate everything. Gummy bears, hot tamales, Mike and Ike's, Red Vines, Jolly Ranchers, Ben and Jerry's ice cream, M&M's with peanuts and plain. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, what? You ate all of it?
Everything is gone except this Chico stick that's up my ass.
Wait, what? I don't want that.
Get out.
Wait.
Get out.
You don't want my money? I've got $5.
There's nothing here.
There's not even sample candies?
Nothing. I even snorted the pixie sticks.
What about this Starburst in the corner over there with the Jelly Belly remnants on the broom?
There's one shitty lemon left because nobody likes lemon.
What about lemon heads?
Lemon heads are good, but not lemon Starbucks. They taste like plastic.
Do you have any sour Skittles?
Sour Skittles can eat a dick.
Oh, what happened?
Nobody likes sour Skittles.
Oh no, what's happening? There's a cauldron and there's smoke coming out of the cauldron now. And your voice is changing, Dean.
I got some spinach candy, which tastes like shit.
No, I don't want any spinach candy.
Talk to me. What do you want? Get out. We're closed.
Oh.
That was fantastic. I'm going to get into this next segment very quickly. It's called the Kindness Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me explain how this works, Dean, if you don't know what it is. So the Kindness Challenge, every week I challenge the listeners of this podcast to do something nice for somebody out of the kindness of their heart. It could be somebody that they know. It could be a complete stranger. It doesn't matter how big or small, as long as they're contributing something positive to society, right? So I have people email in their letters and I read them on the show, and then we kind of discuss it and maybe share something that we did nice for somebody recently.
Is this Jesus Corner? Yeah, right now on Jesus Corner, Jeremiah and I are going to open the Bible and read a chapter.
Hey, you're listening to Jesus Corner right now.
Welcome to Jesus Corner.
I've never heard it called Jesus Corner before, but it's definitely making me feel
Self-conscious.
You got to change the name of it to Jesus Corner.
Jesus Corner? We'll keep it a Kindness Challenge.
You should call your record Jesus Corner.
Jesus Corner? That's actually a good comedy album name, Jesus Corner. That's funny.
You go to church back in the day?
Yeah. I grew up going to church.
Brutal.
Yeah, man. Brutal. Ropes.
Ropes?
Remember, you used to say ropes all the time.
I still do.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ropes.
I got all these sayings that make Dalia laugh, like fan zank. When I was growing up, I just had my own language.
Fan zank? What is that?
Like, hey, let's go to Burger King. Fan zank. No, that meant
That
no.
means no?
Ropes is like...
That's bad, dude.
Ropes is bad, like on the ropes. Like, God, this movie's on the ropes.
Yeah. And you taught me what a lot lizard was.
Yeah, lot lizards. Yeah, I didn't make that one up, though.
Yeah.
What are the other ones?
You and Earl Skakel use lot lizards.
Yeah, and then Buddha. I used to say that, like, even my mom would say that one. Buddha was just anything like, that thing's Buddha. You know?
Is that good?
It was.
This is kind of whatever.
It was good or bad.
Yeah, that's Buddha.
It just depends. Ropes.
This one comes from a guy named Matthew, and I like to try to imagine what they might sound like based off the letter. And this guy goes like this. The first line goes, "Dear Mr. Watkins, first to help with the read, I am American and have a nasally voice." Okay, so here we go. "Before I get to my act of kindness, I would like to list the two programs that your guest Rafina Bastos spoke of. They were Wacky Races and El Chavo del Ocho. Now the great mystery is solved for my small act of kindness." Okay. "I was walking home from the grocery store, and on my route, I pass a flight of stairs that connects the main road to a shortcut tunnel that goes under the main road. On this particular time, there was a young mother standing at the top of the stairs with a baby and a large stroller and a small child at her side. I started walking up the stairs while I was asking her if she would like some help. I could see she was nervous about leading her children down the stairs. She seemed very relieved and grateful for the help. I enjoy your work in its various forms. Matthew." So he helped a lady down the stairs.
Very cool.
That was his random act of kindness.
Very cool.
Have you done something randomly nice for somebody? It could be somebody that you know.
I did this podcast today. I don't think you get any nicer than that.
That's so funny. The kindness challenge. Yeah, doing Jeremiah's podcast.
Yeah, I
didn't want to be here.
How about that?
That's so funny. Oh, dude. Let's get into this last segment, and I'll give you some time to prep after I announce it. Sax Talk. Sax Talk. All right, so I prepped you, Dean.
Yep.
He's ready. He's going to share a story of a sexual encounter, and I'm going to play some sweet, sweet sax underneath it. So whenever you're ready, Dean.
So my buddy had I just want to share this story because I always thought it was so weird. He had a 1-bedroom apartment, and the bathroom was in his bedroom. And he had a friend visiting from another town, from far away. So he decided, I'm going to let the buddy stay in the bedroom, and I'll sleep on the couch for the weekend, you know. So after the second day, he got up in the middle of the night and he had to piss, and his bedroom door was locked. And he's like, "Hey, man." And he's like knocking. He keeps knocking. He's like, "Dude, I got to piss." The guy's not answering the door. So then he knocks harder, like, "Hey, dude, I gotta piss. And then the guy just does this one. He goes, waxing. And he goes, what? And he goes, waxing. He was rubbing one out in his bed, like as a guest. Who rubs one out at a guest house? So for years, I'd always be like, waxing. Whenever I'd see him, man, he's like, what should I do? I was like, kick him out, man. I'll be waxing in San Francisco on my friend's futon. Just let it go. Waxing on the futon with a vision of the Golden Gate Bridge. Waxing all night long. Waxing.
So what was your relation to this friend? Like how? Like so, this was over at a buddy's house, and you were.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
and he said, "Hey, something weird happened over the weekend at my house." And I was like, "What happened?" He said, "Well, I had a friend stay, and I let him stay in my room while I slept on the couch."
So you told your buddy's story.
Yeah, because to me it's like so weird to think.
That's weird.
It's just so weird, like waxing. And like instead of like just stopping and getting up and opening the door, sorry, dude, I was asleep. He just lets him know I'll be done in a few. Like, come back in a little while. Come back in a little while. I'm waxing in your bed.
That's so gross.
And to call it waxing and to clear his throat too, like waxing.
Waxing, come back.
What? Yeah, he said he first thought like, what'd you say? He's like, waxing.
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 That's so gross.
Brutal,
dude.
Waxing.
Oh, dude, sorry. I was just waxing your bed.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, well, Dean, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Do you want to plug your podcast? You got a great podcast called Let There Be Talk that you should definitely subscribe to on iTunes and all the platforms.
Yeah, Let There Be Talk on iTunes, SoundCloud, all that. And then what else I got? Oh, I got a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yep. Dean Delray. Got a lot of great episodes up there. And then website, deandelray.com. Don't tweet at me and say when you're coming somewhere. Just go to the website.
Yeah.
The dates are fucking up there.
They're all there.
They're there.
Or request a podcast guest that you've already had.
Oh, head explosion. You ought to have blah, blah, blah.
You're like, I did, episode 57.
It's just like, big fan, man. Big fan. Big fan when you're coming to Cleveland. Yeah, it was there yesterday. You're not that big of a fan. When I'm a big fan, I know where that fucking band is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, yeah, dude. Love you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. Follow Dean on everything. And always a pleasure kicking it with you, my friend.
I love you, dude.
Yeah. Light the candles.
Candles of rock. Light the candles. Light the candles of rock. Candles lit. Candles lit.
And one last reminder, go pick up your copy of the Reagan and Watkins album, available on all platforms at reaganandwatkins.com. Love you guys. Thanks.